That is Gold Run, which was a super rich creek, and where it dumped into Dominion, I'm guessing, was in this area right here.
From wandering through the desolate territories of gold mining to finding treasures in the most unexpected locations, here's how the protagonist of the reality TV series Gold Rush, Parker Schnabel, appeared to have struck gold, perhaps the biggest jackpot of all. But how did he manage to extract 55 pounds and 55 ounces in a single week? Gold mining is still a viable industry today, despite the impression that it was only practiced in the 1800s, as shown by the popularity of the Discovery Channel series, The Gold Rush. Although its primary focus is on operations in Dawson City, Yukon, Canada, the show covers numerous gold mining ventures across the nation. The show has been full of highs and lows, and viewers have seen people like Parker Schnabel attempt to make a fortune from the very beginning. Schnabel has been a part of the show since its 2010 premiere. Even though he appeared only in a few episodes in the first season, he won over many fans right away. Though he is a young miner, he takes his gold mining seriously. Despite his early appearance on the show, a lot of people are still unaware of his personal life, despite his reputation for having a sharp, short fuse. Parker Schnabel considered himself a pretty typical Alaskan kid growing up. Hunting was his life. Our family didn't really need to buy any meat for roughly 5 years. I felt rather pleased with that. The Times claims that his attitude changed when he was in his teens.
55
55 ounces.
in 1 week.
That's pretty exciting, guys.
You're 21 years old, man. I thought you would go for like 10,000 ounces.
I'm a real underachieving 21-year-old, that's for sure, Todd.
Schnabel said, "It was no longer deer, bears, and moose. It was something more interesting and mysterious. It was pure gold." Schnabel's reputation as a connoisseur of dirt is well known to viewers of the Discovery Channel reality series Gold Rush. Making $20 million a year, he routinely outperforms competitors and can now call himself one of the most successful gold mining bosses in the Klondike, in addition to being the face of Discovery's most popular program. Schnabel began his career early in both reality television and mining. When a TV crew showed up to scout him, he was 15 years old and helping to manage the Big Nugget mine, a modest Alaskan business founded by his non-Nigerian grandpa. They didn't want to stop filming him once they got going. Being a teenager who had found wealth in the same manner that most teenagers discover alcohol and parties, he was inherently charming. According to Maxime, the gold mining industry is harsh. However, Schnabel appears to have wisdom and determination much beyond his years, citing his late grandfather as an inspiration. He outgrew Big Nugget and at the age of 19, relocated to mine on a larger scale in the vast Canadian wilderness of the Klondike. The majority of prospectors attempting to strike it rich on the Klondike still fall short, more than a century after the first big rush.
200, 240, 260, we have 300 even.
Despite having inconsistent seasons, Schnabel claims that his high return rate is a result of his right back into the ground approach to earning. He has modest tastes for a young millionaire. "I don't own a boat, fancy cars, or a fancy house. Instead, I have a large, pricey sandbox." A gold bull market in the 21st century has helped miners. Still, making a profit depends on logistics, and the Times claims that these are terrible in the Klondike. You need to dig up enough dirt and trucks to fill roughly half of an Olympic-sized swimming pool to obtain 1 ounce of gold, which is valued at approximately $1,500. Schnabel has to work quickly because the season is short this far north, and he spends $2 million on fuel alone. You have to consistently make wise choices every day if you want to succeed financially. However, a few terrible ones might destroy you. Schnabel is not attracted to gold in and of itself. He explains, "It's just something I sell so that I can keep mining." He mines to obtain gold, which he then needs to continue mining. Entrepreneur notes that the self-described dirt nerd has a successful second career to fall back on, unlike the majority of his friends. Filming in the off-season has allowed Schnabel to produce a number of daring Gold Rush spin-offs. The two of them just headed down from the frozen north to the jungles of Guyana to try their luck mining for gold in the not very people-friendly jungle. At the ripe age of 25, Schnabel acknowledges that his career has been unusual, saying, "I spent a lot of my time with people who were not my own age. I was up here trying to manage a company with a group of elderly guys who refused to follow orders." He's not sure what action to take next. Perhaps more TV shows, new mining operations, or perhaps a cannabis farm. Or, I could just flip hamburgers. Parker Schnabel has achieved great success in the mines, as viewers of the show are aware. All of it has resulted in significant financial success, especially for someone who is just in their 20s. Although the exact amount is unknown, most projections set his 2020 net worth at roughly $10 million. While many would want to live off that money for the rest of their lives, Schnabel is reinvesting it. He said, "We are buying new equipment to improve our operation." It's important to keep in mind that even though Schnabel makes millions of dollars every season, he doesn't keep the entire amount. When the team discovers millions of dollars worth of gold in a single season, it's safe to conclude that the large workforce he leads earns a respectable life, even though their precise pay is undisclosed. When Gold Rush debuted, Parker Schnabel was only a young child. Although he made multiple appearances, the show's primary focus at the time was on his grandfather, John. When the show was situated in Porcupine Creek, Alaska, he was the proprietor of Big Nugget Mine. He left the show during its second season, handing the reins to his grandson Parker, who has subsequently become increasingly involved in the show's plot. Regretfully, 96-year-old John Schnabel passed away in 2016. His grandson thanked program viewers on Twitter for their support during this difficult time after his grandfather passed away peacefully in his sleep, stating, "John lived a great life and was one of a kind. I'm happy that such a remarkable man was seen by everyone." John worked as an active miner from 1984 until his death in 2014. Given how successful John Schnabel's profession was, it's logical to assume that the family did not face many hardships. Parker had a college fund established in his name from the time of his birth in 1994, which meant he could attend almost any university without facing financial difficulties. However, when John left the family business and gave it to Parker, he founded his own mining enterprise with the money he received for college. Rather than picking up a book, Parker explored the land to the fullest, expecting to discover not only buried riches, but a whole way of life. It proved to be a worthwhile endeavor. Parker and the other members of the Big Nugget mine crew found 34 ounces of gold during Season 2 of Gold Rush, which is equivalent to $55,000. Parker's life changed dramatically as a result of that kind of discovery, and he has continued with the series and mining ever since. According to Starcasm, Parker Schnabel participated in a Facebook Live Q&A session in 2017 where fans had the opportunity to pose a variety of questions to the miner. In his responses, he disclosed that Johnny Cash is his favorite musician and that he had no intention of popping the question to Ashley Yulee, his girlfriend at the moment. Nonetheless, when questioned about the biggest nugget he had ever discovered, he revealed one of the most fascinating anecdotes. Schnabel answered, "How about a quarter of an ounce? Between $400 and $500. He continued by pointing out how uncommon large-sized gold nuggets are and how much the business has evolved since his grandfather's initial success in the 1980s. "My grandfather used to discover 3.4-ounce nuggets in Haines," Schnabel said. Even if nuggets are smaller now than they used to be, Schnabel still seems to be rather adept at locating a lot of them in each mining season. Since Parker Schnabel was the breakout star of Gold Rush, it made sense for the show's producers to give him more opportunities. Schnabel, Rick Ness, Carla Ann, and cinematographer James Lavelle went out on the Klondike Trail as part of a show concept. Eventually, the video was turned into the limited series Gold Rush, Parker's Trail. Schnabel, though, probably recalls the encounter for a purpose other than the ratings. In an interview with The Inquisitor, Schnabel stated that he had a falling out with James Lavelle, the longtime Gold Rush cameraman. Though the precise cause of the conflict is unclear, Schnabel asserts that a personality conflict resulted because our personalities just didn't quite jive. It's mentioned in passing on the show, but getting something like this on camera is difficult, and that's not my top concern. However, James and I had a lot of disagreements. I found several of his actions to be really problematic. It's not hard to imagine someone in tight quarters getting on Parker's nerves rather easily. Anyone who watched Gold Rush knows he can be a little short on temper at times. Parker Schnabel has many happy recollections of his time spent prospecting for gold, having completed 11 seasons of Gold Rush and a few spin-off programs. But when asked what his fondest memory was during the previously stated Facebook Live Q&A, he said that it was learning from his grandfather. Indeed, it was clear that Parker and John had a tight relationship from the first few seasons that they were on Gold Rush together. He undoubtedly cherishes that connection even more now, given that he has acknowledged in interviews how hard it is to keep friendships and connections going. All the guys I used to hang out with, they've moved on, and I've moved on and don't really have time to keep up, Parker reportedly said. He is essentially kept busy by the digging, and we have no doubt that his grandfather would be pleased with all that he has accomplished thus far. When Ashley Yulee, Schnabel's girlfriend at the time, entered Gold Rush in Season 8, it was one of the most interesting additions to the show in recent memory. After their 2016 meeting, Yulee quickly followed her new partner into the world of reality TV. She had several appearances in the series, but when it returned for Season 9, she was not present. Schnabel discusses the couple's breakup in the 2018 episode Win Big or Die Trying, and he takes the brunt of the responsibility. As successful as our season was, there was, for me personally, one pretty big failure. Ashley and I broke up, he remarked in reference to the previous season of the show. To put it simply, I never gave the relationship or her priority. She truly deserves much more than that, to be honest. She had a lot of fun while she was on the show, so it's too bad the two of us couldn't work things out. Parker developed into a mining prodigy, going from a young kid using a pan to a man in charge of complex mining operations. Parker stands out for his exceptional leadership abilities as well as his mining expertise, at a time when other young adults are only beginning to define their professional trajectories. Parker took over the day-to-day management of the Big Nugget mine. His leadership of a team that frequently consisted of miners twice his age speaks highly of his maturity, vision, and tenacity. Under his direction, the team has routinely met and often exceeded its gold targets, which is a testament to his strategic planning and profound respect for the laborious efforts and knowledge of his crew. Parker's achievements go much beyond the TV and excavation sites. His business acumen is displayed by his ability to expand his operations and influence internationally through projects in Australia, New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, Canada, and Guyana. In addition to diversifying his company holdings, Parker has shown a thorough awareness of the worldwide gold mining industry. Each of these decisions was made with the intention of ensuring that his enterprises would prosper despite the volatile gold mining industry. Parker maintains a remarkably grounded lifestyle despite his significant success and the fame that has come with it. He doesn't indulge in the typical trappings of wealth, choosing instead to reinvest in his business and support his team. This humility extends to his personal story, which he shares candidly with his audience, winning him not just followers, but true admirers. Parker is liked by both peers and admirers for his humble attitude and sense of humor when he claims to be homeless. This season on Discovery Channel's Gold Rush, Parker Schnabel, at the tender age of 29, once again shows why he is one of the most fearsome personalities in the world of gold mining. Schnabel took on what can only be called his most daring mining venture. The season began with a tense atmosphere, as the first 5 weeks saw not a speck of gold. This alarming dry spell was not just a hiccup in operations, but a serious threat that loomed over the financial stability of the operation. Yet a $15 million investment into the unexplored territories of Dominion Creek was made. This massive gamble not only tested his mettle, but also the fortitude of his loyal crew, challenging them to defy nature and extract an estimated $160 million worth of gold. However, Schnabel, who was renowned for his tenacity and strategic thinking, was under tremendous pressure to reverse the trend. With the stakes higher than ever, Schnabel rallied his crew to refine their mining techniques and expand their exploration areas in a relentless pursuit of gold. This determined effort to overcome the initial setback showed not only Schnabel's leadership, but also his deep understanding of mining dynamics. Schnabel refused to let early setbacks dictate the outcome of the season. By the end of the season, the effort and redesigned tactics had paid off in a way that well outpaced even the highest hopes. The shocking 7,381.1 ounces of gold that Schnabel and his crew had discovered were estimated to be worth $11.476 million. However, Parker Schnabel is still breaking records in the gold mining industry, and his most recent triumph on the Gold Rush is evidence of his extraordinary talent, persistent resolve, and strategic acumen. Fans and aspiring miners are excitedly anticipating Schnabel's next monumental achievement, as he not only redefines success within the series, but also solidifies his status as a legendary figure in the mining industry. His journey continues to be a compelling narrative of overcoming adversity through leadership innovation. After all these years on Discovery's gold rush, a lot of miners have made big money, but Parker Schnabel still stands out. He has been a main character since Season 1, but in Season 2, after his grandfather gave him the go-ahead, he got the opportunity to manage his own crew in the Big Nugget mine. It's reasonable to say he's done well for himself and his team, as seen by his reported $10 million net worth. However, what business is owned by Parker Schnabel? Schnabel is Little Flake Mining's owner and creator. The company made headlines in January 2023 after Metallic Minerals released a press release announcing a relationship with the group. Under the terms of the deal, Little Flake would acquire the only right to mine 5.5 kilometers of alluvial gold claims at a Yukon site called Australia Creek. Royalties from any gold mined would be paid to Metallic Minerals, making this a profitable endeavor for both companies. It shows how Schnabel's name precedes him, and how, despite his youth, numerous businesses have faith in him and his group to locate gold. Our award-winning team looks forward to working with Metallic Minerals, and we plan to hit the ground running on Australia Creek, said Schnabel regarding the agreement. We are getting ready to drill 400 holes in the land this winter, and we hope to start mining this spring. After spending more than 10 years on Gold Rush, Schnabel still has a lot of motivation left in him. Parker Schnabel and his team should ideally receive a solid salary as a result of the agreement between Metallic Minerals and Little Flake Mining. Across more than 36 square kilometers along the Australia Creek region, Metallic Minerals holds a 100% ownership stake. It is estimated that millions of ounces of gold lie in wait at this historic location. The arrangement came into effect immediately, with Schnabel's company aiming to begin mining in June. The team's level of success is unknown at this time, but considering Schnabel's past performance, they should be doing okay. It seems logical that Metallic Minerals would like to work with Schnabel for business purposes. He has exhibited his skill as a mining operator and has a noteworthy award to support it. Schnabel received the 50th Annual Geoscience Forum and Trade Show's 2022 Robert E. Leckie Award in November 2022, just before the announcement of the Metallic Minerals acquisition, in recognition of his commitment to reclamation efforts in the Klondike goldfields. His unwavering dedication to environmentally conscious mining has ensured that this activity will continue to be feasible for upcoming generations. Parker Schnabel has filmed a lot of his mining labor during this time for Discovery's Gold Rush, so that everyone can witness the work that goes into this line of business. Given that Schnabel is still in his youth, his impressive resume is all the more significant for that reason. Who knows what he could achieve next with his own company and a successful career in reality television? During the current season of the Gold Rush, 28-year-old Parker Schnabel opened a new mine in Alaska, but it was a total failure. And while Parker sets off on a harrowing journey, thousands of miles to South America and the world's most difficult jungle and mountain gold mines, in an attempt to retrieve $100 million and build his golden empire, his land lease in the Yukon is about to expire. Parker is anxious to find a new path. Do you think Parker will have a breakthrough in this new quest?